Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for May 25th, 2012. I'm your meteorologist, Steven DiMartino. And what we have this morning is plenty of low clouds and fog, as plenty of moisture is still lingering in the atmosphere. The atmosphere is clearly saturated, and as a result, the fog is remaining. And that fog is locally dense in some locations, producing some traffic problems. Now, where the fog is the densest, well, that's where temperatures are the coolest because, well, temperatures can't rise when it's cloudy out like this. And unfortunately, we're stuck in the lower 60s in Connecticut, lower 60s on Long Island. But as we head down to the south, down towards southern Jersey, and then towards southeastern Pennsylvania, our temperatures are already pushing into the upper 60s to lower 70s. And we're looking at a unsettled, cloudy day, but clearly humid and clearly warm, with temperatures pushing into the 70s throughout the entire northern mid-Atlantic. I would not be surprised if one or two locations push into the 80s as some of the clouds break up and we get a little bit of sun mixing in. When we take a look at the radar, you can see that we're not really dealing with any organized precipitation here. It's pretty much scattered, isolated, but these showers are capable of very heavy downpours because it's a tropical air mass, because there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Well out to the west, this is the cold front that's going to clear out all this mess and produce a rather tranquil and comfortable, or at least enjoyable, weekend for the Memorial Day weekend, where temperatures are actually going to be more summer-like than anything else, especially if you live down by the Jersey Shore and if you're in the Philadelphia metropolitan area. Just want to show you the water vapor satellite picture because I think this really shows in great detail exactly what's happening here. Here we have all our tropical moisture surging up the East Coast. And you can see all this moisture hanging around the northern mid-Atlantic. Here's our cold front that's about to clear everything out, and this cold front's going to move through tonight. And you're going to see a marked drop in the fog and low clouds over the region. Not so much the humidity, because this cold front is focusing a lot of its punch more towards northern New England and southeastern Canada. You could tell that because look where all the lifting is moving. Moving in the direction towards Ontario and Quebec. So the portion of the cold front that will be moving through our region is weakening, but it's still going to be strong enough to clear out a lot of this low-level moisture. Now this disturbance down here, well, this could be our next tropical depression. No reason to jump the gun on this yet. The reason why I'm not gung-ho about it just yet is that there is quite a bit of dry air. It might actually be a subtropical low-pressure system, but clearly it's something to keep an eye on, especially if you live along the North Carolina coast. And then eventually this disturbance, because we're going to have a southwesterly wind aloft, will be forced out into the Atlantic later on this coming week. But I really don't expect much of a major impact on the northern Atlantic coast aside from some higher surf. But it's still something to keep an eye on. Taking a look at the infrared satellite picture, you can see again all of the convection and moisture that's just setting up off of the East Coast. It's pretty impressive. But as you can see, a lot of it is being forced out towards the Atlantic. And you can see why with the upper level winds, everything's being forced to run parallel, not into the coast. So that's a key factor here, and that's what's keeping a lot of the moisture, as far as the steady rainfall, out of the region. And then here's our cold front moving steadily to the east. So let's take a look at our forecast using the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website, one of the best websites out there for model guidance. Now, for this evening, here's our cold front moving through. And again, here's where the focus of all the lifting is being basically focused over Quebec. So as you can see, any type of strong convection or strong thunderstorm, should I say, will be focused more towards northern New England than anything else. Still watch out for a few scattered showers this evening that could produce some heavy downpours. But that cold front clears the coast tonight. High pressure is going to take control for this weekend. Now, notice the weather pattern that we have here. We have a nice strong ridge setting up over much of the southeast and much of the Mississippi River Valley. That ridge builds into the northern mid-Atlantic, but we also have a deep trough over southeastern Canada. What that basically means is that weak disturbances will continue to clip the northern edge of the northern mid-Atlantic. Now, what that will do is produce plenty of scattered showers for New England, central New York, possibly even Connecticut. It'll keep much of the northern mid-Atlantic dry. I think that if you are south of New York City, expect a wonderful weekend with temperatures pushing into the 80s and 90s. I would not be surprised if a few locations push to 90, 91 degrees, especially around Camden, New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, right around Philadelphia, just south of Philadelphia, Lancaster possibly. Those locations right now are being forecast by the model guidance to be around 88, and sometimes the model guidance is a little bit too cool. So I would not be surprised if some locations around there hit 90, 91 degrees. Now, as you move towards the New York City metropolitan area, look for more of an increase in cloud cover this weekend, but not any steady rainfall. Again, if you're north of Long Island, let's say if you're in Connecticut or if you're in the southern Hudson River Valley, you might have to dodge a few isolated showers here and there through this weekend, including Monday. But I think for the most part, you'll remain dry. And your temperatures, especially as you move closer to New York, will also remain near the mid to upper 80s. Again, if you move into Connecticut, you have a better shot of seeing temperatures more in line with the lower to mid 80s. And right along the immediate coast, because of the influence of the Atlantic, temperatures are most likely going to stay in the upper 70s to lower 80s. So you got a wide range of temperatures here because of different factors that usually complicate a forecast along the northern mid-Atlantic coast, even on the summer. So this weekend really won't be all that bad, to be honest with you. It's going to be really nice from most locations, but you might have to dodge a few isolated showers here and there over the northern tier. Again, here we are on Monday. Now, Monday I think is going to be your best day. It's going to be a nice ridge building over the northern mid-Atlantic. I think even the northern tier is going to remain dry. Very warm out there. Temperatures again pushing into the 80s, possibly a few lower 90s as well. And then as we move into early next week, we're going to continue on with this very progressive pattern here. And this is a key point here. Yes, there's a trough in the east, but this isn't a polar trough. It's a progressive Pacific trough, and there's a big difference because a polar trough would lead to below normal temperatures, right? What we're going to see over the next 10 days is basically temperatures averaging near to above normal. And I'm saying that because with each one of these troughs, you're going to get Pacific air mass, which would translate to normal temperatures. And then when these troughs leave, you're going to end up with above normal temperatures as the warm air that's building over here and the hot conditions over the southern plains rushes to the east as this trough builds in. So we're going to go near normal, above normal, near normal, above normal. That's pretty much going to be the pattern going into the month of June as we look forward into the future. Well, that is your forecast discussion for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and enjoy yourself out there. As always, stay safe. You can always follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.